Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the key national institutions and in the previous lecture we had completed the National Human Rights Commission. Okay. So basically in this section we are going to start with another important topic. Okay. From the examination point of view, but again I will ask you for the same. Kindly revise all the facts and figures we discussed in the lecture before you come for the another lecture. Okay, it is your benefit. Now, with this note, let's start this lecture. So basically in this lecture, we are going to start with the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI in short. Okay, and we will follow the golden rule like the full form, establishment year, and parent ministry. Okay, so let's start. So if we talk about the full form, then basically it is known as the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Okay, in short, as SEBI. Alright, it's the first thing. Second, if we talk about the establishment year, then basically it was established in the year of 1992. Okay, and third, if we talk about the parent ministry, then basically it works under the Ministry of Finance. Okay, so these are the basic details about the SEBI. First, it stands for the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Second, it was established in the year of 1992. And third, its parent ministry is Ministry of Finance. Okay, thereafter, if we looked further into SEBI, we will find that it was established on 12th April 1988 as an independent statutory body under the Securities and Exchange Act of 1992. Now you will get little bit confused. If it was established in 1988, how the Act 1992 was passed? This is the main confusion. Like there is a 4 years difference between the establishment and the act of passing. Okay, so I will tell you the reason why it is so. Okay, SEBI's primary objective is to protect the interest of investors and ensure the orderly development of the securities market in India. So basically here are some words which we should understand before we go further. First is the capital market. Second is the securities. Okay, and third is the stock exchange. Okay, there are several things we should understand before we go further. Okay, so basically if I'm talking about the capital, what do you mean by it? What do you mean by the capital? Most of you will think that it's New Delhi or something like this. Basically, capital in economics having the different meaning than the capital in general. Okay, and basically capital in economics is denote the money used to grow the business or use in trading operations. Okay, so basically capital in economics means the money which is to be used to grow the business or use the money to do the trading operations. Like here is Mr. X who is running a business of food. Just take an example. He having the food restaurant. Okay, and he is doing the business. He is required the money to operate or to grow the business. Suppose he having the rupees 10 lakh money to operate or grow the business. Then in this case, he is having rupees 10 lakhs securities, or you can say capital. Okay. Securities you can erase because securities I will tell you in a different manner. But now you can say it is having 10 lakhs capital. Okay. Now I think you will get the capital. What do you mean by the capital? Okay. Thereafter, now comes the securities. Securities. Basically, you can say it is similar to the capital, but backed by the guarantee. Okay, because we are talking about the securities, so it is the capital way, like it is a money, but which is guaranteed to be returned. So this is the security. Let me tell you an example. Basically, suppose if the government required 100 crore rupees, just take an example. Government required 100 crore rupees, so government will issue securities in the market. Securities in market. Okay. So this securities particular mean the person who will buy the security from the government will have to pay 100 crores to the government. He will pay rupees 100 crores to government, and after some time government will repurchase the security. Okay, and this particular time period is maturity of the security. It means that suppose the government issued a security and said they required 100 crore rupees for 10 years. Okay, so 10 years is basically the maturity period. Okay, and if that person who has bought the government security in 2001, okay, will be selling the government security to the government in 2010. Okay, so the time period from 2001 to 2010 is the maturity period. Like after some time when the government will repurchase the security by paying 100 crores back to him. Okay, but now here is one question. What is the benefit of that person? Like he has provided money to the government and the government returns the money to him after some time. What is the point to provide the money to the government? Like what benefit he gets? So basically there is a interest on securities. Like government said, we are issuing the security of 100 crores at 1% interest per annum, or you can say yearly, for 10 years. Just take an example. Okay, so if that person buys the government security, he will pay rupees 100 crores to the government for 10 years, which means from 2001 to 2010. Okay, in return, every year he will get 1 crore as interest for the government for almost 10 years. So that's the reason why this person will be interested in selling the securities to the government or buying the government securities. Okay, so now I hope you have got the idea of capital and the security. And the last one was the stock market. Okay, so basically stock market is the platform to buy and sell shares and securities. Okay, where to buy the security, where to buy the shares, where to sell the security, where to sell the shares, all these things are basically done at the stock market. Okay, and famous stock markets India have is BSE, stands for the Bombay Stock Market or Stock Exchange. Okay, and second one is the NSE, which is stands for the National Stock Exchange. All right, so this is the scenario. Now let's come back to the topic, because stock markets, or you can say the capital market, involves heavy transactions. Like we had seen, there was a transaction of 100 crore rupees, and it is just a very small amount when it's come to the stock exchange. Okay, so because the capital markets involves a heavy transaction, it is required to maintain the proper check over the activities. Okay, so basically prior to the SEBI, it was Capital Controller Act in India, 1947, which is used, or you can say which was using by the authorities to control the stock exchange in India. Okay, and under this Capital Control Authority was there. Authority was there. Okay, remember it was prior to the SEBI. Before the establishment of SEBI, there was a Capital Control Authority working under Capital Control Act 1947. But this authority was not so capable to check out the regulations and setting up the criteria. That's why in 1988, SEBI was established. Okay, so it is totally correct. SEBI was established in 1988, but it was then non-statutory body. Non-statutory body. It means that it was not having any power to carry on the research, carry out the investigations, set up the rules by its own. But after passing the SEBI Act 1992, it was granted the status of statutory body. And that's how the SEBI was formed. Now this is the answer. SEBI was actually formed in 1988 but non-statutory body. Later on, by passing the 1992 Act, it was become the statutory body. And if we talk about the major amendments done with the SEBI, then it was amendment of 1999 and 2014. These are the major amendments done within the SEBI Act. Okay. And if we talk about the offices, then its headquarters is basically located at Mumbai. Headquarters is at Mumbai. And if we talk about the regional offices, Then it is Ahmedabad, Delhi, Chennai, and Kolkata. Kolkata, you can say. So remember, headquarter is at Mumbai. Okay. Regional offices are at the Ahmedabad, Delhi, Chennai, and the Kolkata. Okay. Now let's move forward. So basically, the prime function is regulation of securities market. SEBI regulates various segments of the security markets like equities, bonds, mutual funds, derivatives, and commodities. Formulates rules, regulations, and guidelines to ensure fair practices, transparency, and investors' protection. Because investor is giving the money to the XYZ business enterprises, or you can say any enterprises. Okay. So SEBI is required to ensure that he will get a fair return. Okay. Or you can say whatever return he was promised. Like in the previous case, we had seen 100 crore was asking at 1% interest rate per year. Okay. So it is SEBI's responsibility to ensure the person is getting the fair rate. Okay. It does not mean that it was promised 1% but only 0.5% is granted per annum. Now in this case, what is happening? The agreement was on 1%, but he is now getting only 0.5%. So it is unethical and against the interest of the investor. So this kind of things are regulated by the SEBI. Okay. Investors protection, it is very, very important. Because why I am saying this, let me give an example. Suppose there was a company XYZ. Okay. They issued shares of 100 crores. Okay. Thereafter, there are 10 people invested rupees 10 crores each. So these 10 people are the investors. Somehow, if XYZ is not able to give the promised interest, or you can say the dividend, promise interest or dividend, okay, and second, not returning the money, okay, in this case what will happen? All these 10 people will be in the loss, or we can lose our 10 investors. I'm just trying to give you the picture. Now you can see in daily basis how many people participate in buying and selling of the shares and the securities. What if the organizations are not capable to give the promised interest or dividend to them, or to return their value back? In this scenario, how many investors we will lost, and it is not good for the economy. So that's why SEBI is very, very curious to protect the investors. Okay, SEBI's main focus is to protect the investors, promote investors' confidence in the securities market, takes measures to prevent fraudulent and unfair trade practices. Okay, it is done by the SEBI. Registration and regulation of intermediaries. SEBI registers and regulates various market intermediaries, including the stockbrokers, merchants, bankers, portfolio managers, invest advisors, and credited agencies. Let's understand them one by one. Suppose this is a person who having rupees 10 lakh. Okay. And he want to invest in the stock exchange. Now it is not necessary that this person must have the knowledge of the stock exchange or stock market. Okay, then in this case, what the people generally do, they find the intermediaries. Okay, the person who will take the money from him, invest the money in the market, give the profit to him after charging the commission. Okay, so that's how the system works. So basically the people who could be the stockbrokers, merchant bankers, portfolio managers, investment advisors, and credit rating agencies. Whosoever is the intermediaries who is taking the money from the party, investing it into the stock market, and then operating the profit or surplus to the parties. All these people are required to register with the SEBI. Okay, no intermediaries is allowed to take the money from the party, invest in the stock market if he is not registered with the SEBI. Okay, so remember this thing. And they are also required to follow the guidelines set by the SEBI. Then only they are allowed to operate in the market. Promoting market transparency. It is very, very important. SEBI aims to create a transparent and efficient market environment, mandates companies to disclose relevant information to investors to enable them to make informed decisions. Like, just take an example. Suppose there is a company with X, Y, and Z. Okay, this company launch rupees 10 lakhs shares. Okay, and he requires a money from the investors. Now, if you are an investor and you have to spend a money to the company, what you will see? You will see the profit and loss of the company. How much profit they are making and how much loss they are facing. Then only you will decide, is it right to invest the money in this company or not? Okay. So basically, it is very, very important that you get the relevant or authentic information or authenticated information. It is very, very important. Like, what if this company is showing they are earning rupees 10 crores profit to the investors. If the investors seeing this kind of huge profit, they will invest in the company. But what if in reality this company is making 10 crores loss, but they are showing their loss as profit? In this scenario, the investors will not get a proper transparent information and they could be on the point to lose their investment. So in this scenario, SEBI ensures that all the information which has been shared to the investors must be authenticated, okay, and accurate or relevant information. All right. Monitoring and surveillance. SEBI monitors and supervises the activities of market participants to detect any market abuses or manipulative practices, conducts regular inspections, and takes necessary action against those who violate the regulations. All right. Now the question is, how does SEBI does these things? So basically, SEBI is quasi-legislative. You can also say half legislative. Okay. And quasi-judicial. Half judicial. So SEBI is basically the quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial. Legislative means they could make the rules and regulations. However, these rules and regulations should be in accordance with the Ministry of Finance. That's why they are the half legislative. They could not make every rules and regulations as per them. Okay. Second, they are the quasi-judicial. It means that they could carry out the investigation and prepare the report, but could not take own action. However, they could impose the penalty or ban someone from the market, but they could not take each and every action, you can say. Okay, and they have to consult it with the concerned authority. So that's why they are the quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial. Okay, they could make the rules and regulations and they could take out the investigations. Okay, so that's how they monitor and surveillance the market. Now, regulation of mutual funds. As SEBI regulates mutual funds to ensure that they function in the best interest of investors, reviews and approves the launch of new mutual fund scheme and monitors their performance. Okay, basically you can say this power has been granted to the SEBI by the amendment of 2014. Okay, like if any such kind of scheme, which is also called as money pooling scheme, if any kind of scheme is running by someone and crosses the 100 crores value, okay, then in this scenario, SEBI will regulates and watch out the activities of that particular scheme holder, or you can say the corporation who is running this scheme. Okay, in case of non-compliance, it means that the corporation who has taken rupees 100 crores or more from the market in the name of money pooling or mutual fund not able to return the money, then SEBI could attach the property of same worth. Okay, like the property of that particular corporation worth of 100 crores will be attached by the SEBI for the repayment of that particular debt which this had been brought from the market. Like, just take an example. There was XYZ which brought rupees 100 crores capital in the name of mutual funds from the market, but somehow not capable to return it back. In this scenario, what would be happen? SEBI will sell out the property of XYZ worth 100 crore rupees to repay the amount to the investors who had invested with them. Okay, so this is the scenario. Thereafter, development of market infrastructure. SEBI plays an active role in developing the infrastructure of the securities market, facilitates the introduction of new products and trading mechanism to enhance market efficiency. All right. Basically, SEBI just not only regulates the market, but also ensures that market innovation and development should be done simultaneously. All right. So this kind of thing also done by the SEBI. Okay. Thereafter, the enforcement of regulation. SEBI is just not only required to make the rules and regulations as a part of quasi-legislative, but it is also required to enforce the prescribed rules and regulation. Okay, as quasi judicial. Okay, so remember this thing also. Okay, let's move forward. So promotion of investors education. This is also done by the SEBI. SEBI conducts investor education programs to create awareness among investors about various investment opportunities, risks and rights. Okay, so this kind of education provided to the investors by SEBI on regular basis. Okay, so students, that's how the SEBI basically operates the stock market of India, and it is an apex institution which deals with the stock exchange within the country. Okay, so I hope now you have got all the facts and figures related with the SEBI. Okay, I request you all kindly revise all the facts and figures before you come for the next lecture. Okay, with this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.